what we're talking about. Okay. So so I ran that one from we did last night for Waukee Park. And I got the number. So tonight we're talking about like the 60-minute run, the analyzed opportunity. So what we're doing now with this basically I'll build the skills live. We're gonna build two of them tonight, which is good. But this will actually help. We talked, and I'll kind of go up to my conversation real quick with it after I talked to you about it earlier. Let me see, because there was I was
Yeah, just
talking.
pick up where you left off.
No, I mean, okay, let me pull it up.
Okay, NEDs.
No, I'm pulling up exactly. Okay, so we talked about this thing that you and I talked about earlier, the offer generator, right? So it said
Right.
it would keep the offer before lending matching in the core workflow. And it says the offer structure determines the capital requirement. Until you know whether the deal is cash, seller finance, subject to novation, or hybrid, you don't actually know what capital problem you're solving. So it says a cleaner circuit sequence is you do all the front office, you get all the stuff completed, so you're through all the ARV comps, all that stuff. You get to offer generator, then capital strategy, then lender matching, then transaction coordination, and then close is what it suggested. And it says the nuances of capital feasibility should influence the offer before it is finalized. So I would add a light pre-check before the formal offer.
There
So
you go.
pre-check.
Yep.
And then, so generating an offer structure that is unrealistic to fund, and then letting lender criteria dictate the entire acquisition before you understand what the seller will accept. Those are two. Those are two bad outcomes. So instead, we'll have the capital feasibility check. Is this structure plausibly financeable? Then lender matching. Which specific capital sources appear to fit the accepted or preferred structure? So that we'll do. So now we'll have
Yep.
analyze, buy, repair, trace, capital feasibility, offer, capital passport, deal match, coordinate, close. So
Okay.
is the bridge. So offer is the bridge from front office to back office. And then should we pursue this opportunity and what is it worth? So that's the good thing about it. So going down into we use the Waukee Park NED and the MRA and all that. So what I generated this morning. So distress, it's identified. We can verify the owner. We have the foreclosure facts. Um, Really tonight for the offer for to generate an offer, we won't need that because we're not going to show their contact information on the screen to avoid YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
But so everybody that's watching this video, if we have it out on YouTube land, there's going to be some things on here that aren't going to show up because we're kind of protecting people's identities who are in foreclosure, active foreclosure. And in this case, it happens to be my hometown. And I actually, this is the third one in about 3 months where I actually know the people. That's the only danger to like doing this in your for your hometown. You may actually see people and it's really important. I always have empathy. A lot of wholesalers don't have empathy. I think you'll get further along, and I'm talking to everybody that's watching this. You'll get further along if you have empathy, because you can build a business where people are like, "Oh, you're a wholesaler. You help people with solutions. Maybe you do have to they do foreclose in the house. They're gonna foreclose it anyway. There's usually no doubt about it. So it's like who can get it, who can actually make the deal and help the people. Get it to the point where if there's surplus and overbid, no, if you bought it, oh, if you ended up building paying it, you can help them get the money. That can help them a lot. That's probably an interesting situation. Be the person that forecloses and buys it and then go back and be the person that helps with surplus. Um, so front office told us whether this opportunity deserved our attention. Tonight, we're going to use the exact same property to show what happens when analysis becomes action. This isn't the best deal. It's thin in a couple of areas. It came up with multiple exit strategies. The best were if you got novations or if you got it a subject to, which are two interesting aspects. So like on a standard flip or a wholesaler, this is kind of a little bit thin, but we're still going to show it because it's just one I can, I spent a lot of time on already. So keep in mind the numbers aren't, if you're out there watching this and you're like, the numbers aren't that great, cool, we're showing it as an example. So what should we offer? This is the live offer generator build. The skill shall consume the front office outputs, decide which structures deserve consideration, cash, seller finance, subject to Novation or the 3-option tour. And then third, how do we fund the selected structure? That is where capital passport deal match takes over. So obviously the NED will have the 2 MRAs to establish distress, market context, neighborhood context, likely value range, risk, and strategy fit. So the key teaching point is front office produces intelligence, offer turns intelligence into terms, back office terms into execution. And this gives an example: NED, MRA, market reality assessment, offer, capital close. And so this is all the information from the NED. We don't have the address on there. You would normally have the address on your screen.
So this is basically to verify the information that you got from the first part, make sure everything's right before you move on.
Yep. And it's in the NED. All the information, including the address and the homeowners and all that. And you can get all the information from the county, the lender, everything. Everything we're not showing on here, you'll have. And we're talking to you that are watching the video. It's just tonight, like I said, on these from now on, we're going to keep these anonymous because we don't want these people to be like,
yes,
we should get out there. So this gives you all the information you need. The MRA said the market reality score is 58 out of 100. It's not great. You're going to see why in a second. The evidence confidence is low to moderate. The strategy fit is conditional. 80439 median sale price, approximately 943,767 on Redfin, 941 on Zillow. So, they're relatively close. They're within $1,000, $1,500. Redfin median is 3.1% year on year. Zillow typical value 909, 2.6% year on year. You got days on market, 18 on Redfin, 43 on Realtor, and then minus 10, minus 20 days to pending Zillow. So there's some interesting things there. And I was figuring out one of those, there's an anomaly there. There shouldn't really be that much difference between Redfin, Realtor, and Zillow. The inventory, there are 312 listings, 31.54% year on year. Zillow inventory is 269. The realtor sale list is approximately 98%. And Zillow is 59.4% of May sales under list. Median asking rent, $3,925, but it's a very thin rental sample. And then the Waukene Park numbers are particularly useful for teaching why the offer generator cannot blindly consume a neighborhood median, approximately 348,883 median sale price. It's down 36%. 110 days of days on market. There was only one sale in that area in May. The study guide quickly calls out the problem. We do have these study guides. A one sale month is not a market. So during the live generator build, we're going to deliberately have the skill recognize that we have real debt numbers, but insufficient property level valuation. So it's going to give us a better thing real quick. So
yeah, finding out what the mechanics are behind why that market is acting that way in an area that is actually going up around it is what we need to see. And that's probably what is trying to have a hard time getting a hold of. And I'm speaking of that because I've been monitoring this market for the last 5 years on Zillow, believe it or not. And I get input and stuff from some of the local listing services too. So that is a little strange.
All right. So the first one we're going to build is we're going to go ahead and build the build skill offer generator. So everybody who's watching, we're going to build 50 of them between now and September 15th. We'll have a process to get you them probably in bundles of 10 or so or a dozen. So there'll be a couple different bundles. We'll try to have this one out next week of 10 to 12, the first ones, then a second, third, fourth. And then after that, we're going to work with you to help you build your own as well. So you can do 100. It's in GPT. I'll show you guys where it is once we've launched this. It's obviously in plugins on the left side, and it's there. This is GPT only. They have skills. It's amazing what it does for you. It does all your, I mean, literally it'll take over your skills and you'll sit there and watch it. And you got everything, you got your buy boxes put in there like we taught you, you've got it all trained, you got the market guides in there. Guys, we're getting deeper on the market guides too. Look at the ones.
Yeah. I have a question regarding the buy box. Is this skills thing taking the input that you put in for your buy box and working it from there? Or is it actually helping you build your buy box as well?
Well, there's a skill to help you build your buy box.
Okay, so this would be post buy box.
Yeah.
You'll use what you have in your, okay, that's important to know that.
Yeah, we're already through most of the front office. I got to go back and do the tools for ARV and the comps and stuff and the rehab and scope of work ones. But most of it, we're already through most of those, and their buy box and the market guides is in there to help people with market guides. Coming out, I'll show you because last night I looked at it, it's pretty impressive. Although it's kind of mixed in with some of the Vinto ones, so I've also had to separate them.
Maybe that's why it's acting the way it is about the market.
No, that is not why. It's just that, you can have 100. That's why I'm not going to be able to do 100 myself. I don't want to do 100. I want people to build their own as well. And like Ginger's building some on her own. She's already building some. I just want to make sure that because when people build their own stuff, they are empowered and they know it better than the stuff they get from
that's the key, but it still has the same process.
Yeah, so here's your offer generator. So you got includes the core bridge logic from front office and a back office, offer readiness, gating, structured screening for cash seller finance subject to Novation 3-option tour, evidence and confidence rules in the handoff and capital passport. So I'm going to install it right now. And then I'll show you then we'll come back to do that one. But
try and chat.
Yeah, try and chat.
And this thing has been getting much faster here lately, and more direct as far as what it wants to find and do for you. I have noticed that over the last week and a half since I've had access to it.
So here it is, and it basically is the offer generator. Convert completed or substantially completed RCIC front office underwriting into defensible real estate acquisition offer structures and a back office handoff. Use when an operator asks what to offer. Request cash seller finance subject to Novation 3-option tour scenarios. Wants to turn MRA, ARV, Rehab, MAO, seller discovery outputs into terms where it needs to determine whether evidence is sufficient to make an offer. Preserve evidence quality, refuse false precision, flag missing offer critical inputs, route the selected structure into capital passport, and the rest to back office. So this is going to be, you're going to treat the offer bridge between front office and back office. The front office is going to establish whether the opportunity deserves pursuit and what the property deal appears to support. Offer generator converts that conviction into proposed acquisition terms. Back office then funds, coordinates, and closes the selected structure. Operating principle: never manufacture an offer merely because the user asked for one. First, decide whether the evidence supports a defensible offer. So it's going to distinguish three states: offer ready, scenario ready only, not offer ready. So it's going to be that way. And we're testing it at being able to put an entire NED in, like not the NED specific property. I'm going to test it like putting in, like we're putting in the entire, 45 records that Jefferson County had yesterday from July 1st through, was it Tuesday? So next week I'll probably have
funny how you'd say that because I was getting ready to do that this evening.
Yeah, so we're going to put them in there to run 50 at a time. And then, so there's required intake. It's going to have all the front office outputs before asking the operator to re-enter data, extract and normalize when supplied. You're going to have the proper identifier. It's an anonymous case ID. If you're going to ever show this.
If there's one there.
Market, zip, subdivision, neighborhood, this distress source and deadline, the as-is value range and confidence, the ARV range and confidence, repair scope of work range, max allowable offer, exposition ceiling, formula assumptions, existing debt arrears, reinstatement, liens, taxes, HOA judgments, existing loan payment, rate, maturity, escrow status, if created terms are being considered, occupancy, possession facts, the seller goals, the timing, the cash need, decision makers, and consent indicators. Then you're going to have the exit strategy and the buy box fit. The title, authority, legal review flags, capital or closing constraints, already none. If material fields are missing, do not guess, list them explicitly. So then it's going to go.
So in essence, that particular part is the actual last point where you're going to be able to confirm whether you like what you got or if you want to do something totally different and start over again. It would show up right there.
Yep, and you got your workflow, you can validate, then normalize, then it's going to check the offer critical gates. It's going to determine a viable structures. So it's going to have all the viable structures for this deal. Build scenarios, it's going to have all the build scenarios. It's going to recommend a path. It's going to rotate, it's going to route the handoff. It could route to the 3-option tour. It could route to the capital passport deal match. The accepted terms route to purchase agreement assistant, which is another one we're going to build. I'm going to build over the weekend. Will be a purchase agreement assistance. And then material uncertainty remains. It'll route back to the relevant front office or verification workflow. Now imagine doing 50 of these at one time.
Exactly.
Like 15, 20 minutes. Never intent AR. Yep. There's guardrails. Never treat a foreclosure filing anything as or code case as proof of equity or motivation. Never treat a broad zip, median, or one sale neighborhood statistic as property level value. Never state a creative structure as legally valid, lender approved, title insurable, or appropriate without qualified review. Never describe subject to. There's all these. I recommend everybody, once you guys have this and in your system, just spend some time on each of these. Practice a few deals. Don't go in there, just put deals in that you're ready to do. Throw in a few deals.
Yeah.
And some and test them, even if they're thin deals, just so they, because it's going to learn more from no's and, the no deals than it is going to learn from the deals that actually go through. And you got default output. And then, like, what's popular in our system, learning mode. When an operator asks for learning mode, explain why each gate matters, why a structure is or not viable, what evidence would change the recommendation, teach the distinction between price, terms, capital requirements, seller outcome, operator mode, and then you got example behavior. Everything that RCIC does now will have the skip wizard will be, and then also learning mode. Everything we touch now will have those. So people will never have to worry about, finding answers at 2:17 in the morning. So I'll save the changes to his offer generator. And then I'm going to go ahead and build the next one. We might even have another one. We might even do 3. I might go and
capital passport and deal match. Right.
If I can get it to save, to copy and paste. Okay.
And can you or will you?
Yeah,
those are the front questions.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool ones. Then we'll do the. I'll put together tonight. We'll go ahead and do the purchase agreement assistant because that'll be in this flow, and then that way next week we'll do more of the capital passport and the actual stuff.
Okay, this is definitely the way that we need to go with this. And for everybody that's actually been working with this for several weeks, or actually at this point in time, several months,
or several
I think
years.
you're going to, well, yeah, but if you find it, when you look at this, everything that the system has been doing here lately, I can speak to the last week and a half since I finally had access to it. It has learned a lot. It has taken on a whole nother identity. Even Nate put his in there, but it's definitely got its own thing. And when you run these skills through here, it takes care of everything in one fell swoop. And then to his point, to Nate's point, how many of these do you want to do? Okay. And the reason why I'm asking that is you want to be able to close on some of these, but at the same time, if you could produce reports that shows that this stuff will work, you could sell these reports. So you got 2 different ways of getting some money out of this thing. And this is viable stuff. And then the other thing is you can export this stuff. And as I saw in some of the earlier parts there, for legal review if you want to. You could send it to, you could have it send it to attorneys or whoever else that you want to have outside the stream to review everything and make sure everything's legal. And you can't beat that with an egg beater or a tire iron as far as that's concerned.
So here's capital passport match, deal match. Compare a real estate transaction and borrower profile against capital passport lender, investor fund, and capital source criteria. Calculate leverage, rank the strongest apparent funding matches, and identify variances, unknowns, and disqualifiers. Recommend primary, secondary, and backup capital paths. Use when an RCIC operator has a deal structure and needs deal to capital matching. Lender fit scoring, capital stack analysis, lender questions, document requirements, or lender ready pitch outline. Never represent a match as approval, commitment, or guaranteed funding. So here you guys goes. Treat this skill as the back office capital matching engine. Start after proposed acquisition structure exists. Use the selected offer structure to determine the actual capital problem before matching sources. Again, we're gonna be able to have the capacity to somebody could do, you know, ideally you really want to start maybe like don't do anything more than like 10 at a time to test it out. But theoretically you should be able to do 50 or even 100, but nobody's ever going to be doing 100 at one time. So I just said that you do have capacity on this.
Well, there won't be a whole lot of foreclosures left in this country if that's the case.
Yeah. So here's your operating rules. We'll just go through this really kind of quick because I'm going to go back and we're going to build a third one tonight. We're going to build one, and then I said we're going to build two. We're going to build three. And I built the other two that I was going to do last night. I'll get those done tomorrow, and probably by next week we'll be able to hand off about 12. We'll probably be able to hand off between anywhere from 12 to 15. The initial 50 by probably the next week's Zooms, which is great because then I can focus on 35 by September 15th, and then hopefully at that point be able to start helping people build their own. But you guys can see everybody. I'll show everybody tonight too where to go to actually start building your own. They give you 3 ways to do it. Here's your required deal inputs. You got your workflow: intake, normalize, validate underwriting, assess capital readiness, classify the capital need. Remember, we got 1,382 lenders. Match each source. Score and rank. If you get a 90 to 100, it's good. If you get 75 to 89, it's good, but you got some variances. You got to work on some things. Below 75 is kind of like getting a red light.
Yeah, go on to something else.
If evidence is too incomplete for defensible numeric score, return a qualitative fit and list the missing fields instead of fabricating precision. Build the capital strategy. And then it'll explain it. It'll produce the operator output. Then you got capital passport deal match, deal snapshot, underwriting validation, capital readiness, ranked matches. We got 1,382 lending sources, recommended capital path. It'll help you with the capital stack, documents and evidence that's needed, lender pitch summary, operator checklist. Then you get your confidence disclaimer, all the handoffs, and the guardrails. And that is the system. What we're going to do is we're going to do one more. We are going to build one more skill. Going to say the purchase agreement assistant skill. And then we'll go ahead and I'll show everybody where you go to build your own and plugins. And then we'll go ahead and set up the Zoom, and I will.
So you're starting in plugins to pull this together, correct?
Plugins, yes. Well, you can generate a lot of this in whether you're in core, whether you're in your own GPT once it's trained, or go to plugins. Plugins is ideally because it walks everybody through the 3 different paths, which I'll show once we're done with this.
Okay.
What should it produce? So everybody's going to ask questions. What should the purchase agreement assistant take as input? Only an accepted offer generator output, or also raw deal facts if operator generator was skipped? What should it produce? A draft purchase agreement term sheet for review, or a structured checklist plus a populated agreement template when a template is supplied? And should the skill use any connectors or outside sources, or should it stay self-contained and work only from operators supplied deal data and uploaded extract templates? Here's its default recommendation. Input, accepted offer terms and deal facts, plus state, plus uploaded contract template when available. Output, populated draft agreement, missing field list, state specified legal review flags, execution checklist, connectors, none by default at this point. The connectors are easy, guys. You can connect them. They're pretty good, easy way to do it.
So basically, you would input, if you were going to do the connectors, you'd end up importing those in and inputting them in that slot there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty easily. Never present generated language as legal advice or substitute for local. If that matches what you want, yes, 100% match. Because I mean, we can change it as we go. At least it's the default.
This is for demonstration purposes only.
I mean, it can, and everybody's watching, especially anybody that has never been on Zoom. Guys, this thing is unlimited. You can do whatever you want, but you want to have a 7-day. We recommend 7 days. People have done it in less because until about, I'm going to say, when was I, Kevin, when was I last sending people like 5 PDFs?
I don't know, but I'm telling you, when it goes to the time frame here, I have to concur because, like I said, I've only had access to about a week and a half. And if you put more than about 2 or 3 hours in this, your brain turns into mush.
Yeah,
and you need to just let it sit and percolate and then come back and then take a look at what it's come up with a fresh mind every time you do this, because you're going to go through a buzzsaw and it just takes you there and you're engaged in everything that you see. You're separating out fact from fiction. You're doing all these different things at a moment's notice, and it does load you down after a couple hours. But it's worth it taking that kind of time because all this is built. It has a memory. It knows you, and then going forward, it's a lot easier.
Well, because
just making a couple simple adjustments.
Do more things. If you try to do it all in one session, it's not going to be. And you can do it. We were doing it. I was giving people 5 PDFs just so everybody was watching. But it was a little overwhelming because people were like, how do I do this? It walks you through in that interface, the 3 conversation starters that I've shown people. If you haven't seen it now and you're onboarding, you're watching this video, don't worry, we'll get you through it. When I send you the initial activation PDF, I will build you an initial market guide. You will then be able to duplicate a market guide in less than 90 seconds. So if you have Cuyahoga County, which is Cleveland, you want to get Franklin County, which is Columbus, you want Maricopa County and Phoenix, you can just tell it to duplicate it for those counties with the HGs and the counties. In less than 90 seconds, you'll be able to add markets. You can do that across the country. It's just having to do it. You don't want to go.
It will suggest markets for you to go to as well. That's been my experience in this so far. And you always want to go yes.
Adam will have, let's say it's the 13th. Probably by Monday, Adam will have July's figures for foreclosures out, and I'll have the top 50 markets. It'll have all 50 states. It'll rank them. Like right now, it's like South Carolina's getting hit hard. Florida, New Jersey, Illinois, Indiana. Also, I built some for some states that are a little bit more difficult. Illinois, but Louisiana just came down as probably some of the harshest wholesaling laws there are. So anybody that wants to wholesale in Louisiana, talk to us first because I built an entire guide for that. Keep in mind, our guides are not legal advice, but it's generally pulling all the information. If you need to go see it, it has the links to go right to where the laws. So it's pretty cool that way. If anybody needs that, it'll accept an accepted offer generator output or raw deal terms, which is great because sometimes you might want to train or teach yourself it, and you don't have all the information you need for the offer generator. So you can go in and put raw deal terms in and kind of train it. Prefers an uploaded state local purchase agreement template when available. It'll map accepted terms into agreement fields. It'll preserve template language and structure. It's going to flag missing or conflicting information, checks internal consistency, identifies structure-specific review items for cash, seller finance, subject to Novation, wholesale assignment, and hybrid deals. It'll produce a readiness status. It'll generate an execution checklist. and hands the deal into title escrow, data room, transaction coordination, and capital passport. For the live teaching point, offer generator answers what terms should we propose. The purchase agreement assistant answers how do we turn the accepted terms into review ready agreement package. Capital passport answers how do we fund the structure we just documented. So the sequence becomes front office, offer generator, purchase agreement assistant, capital passport, coordinate, close. I'm going to install it right there. So we've done 3 skills today, and we'll have 50 for everybody by September 15th, and then we'll help you build 50 of your own. So some of them will help you on your business end, not necessarily real estate specific, but business to support real estate. Meaning, if you need like to do your accounting, your marketing, and stuff like that, we'll show you where you can go to build that. It's kind of cool that way. Let me go ahead and pull this one up, and I'll go through it. Here you guys go. I'll save changes. So you can make changes anytime here. You guys go to the button up here. Here's edit, and you can download this if you want to copy it. So if you want to go and edit your skills, you can go and edit your skills. That is not where you go build them. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Create or prepare a purchase agreement package from accepted RCIC offer terms and deal facts using an uploaded contract template when available. Use when an operator wants to move an accepted offer into a draft purchase agreement. Populate a purchase agreement template. Identify missing contract fields. Flag state-specific or council review issues. Prepare an execution checklist. Compare the deal terms against the supplied agreement. Do not provide legal advice or invent missing terms. Here's the agreement. It's got a core job. It's got the workflow for your intake and source hierarchy. You validate your minimum agreement inputs. It's going to identify your structure-specific requirements. And then it's going to populate the agreement. If the template is supplied, it's going to help you. If no template is supplied, it'll do this. It'll create a structured purchase agreement, term sheet, or draft framework for council or title preparation. Do not represent it as a state compliant contract. Review for internal consistency. It'll cross-check everything. It's going to cross-check all these items that are on the screen right now. Legal state review flags. Then it's going to have your handouts. Once the draft package is internally consistent, prepare it for local council, title escrow, operator approval, signature preparation, data room upload, transaction coordination, capital passport, deal match of financing required or structure changed. Required output. You will get your purchase agreement, the deal package. You'll get an executive summary. State the accepted structure, purchase price, readiness status, and the most important resolved issue. Source terms. Summarize accepted offer terms and identify the source for each material term. Agreement readiness. Use one status. Ready for template population. Ready for council title review. Conditional missing information. Stop material conflict. Field map. It's going to show you value, source, and status. Draft the populated agreement. Any missing or conflicting information. Legal state review flags. The execution checklist. The back office handoff. And confidence. Give a high, moderate, or low confidence rating for document completeness and explain the rating in 1 to 3 sentences. It has the guardrails and it has the references. So that is the purchase agreement assistant. Now, where we're going to go is plugins. For everybody who wants to know, and plugins is where you guys will go. Let me move the bar for just a second. Got to move it just real quick. There it is, skills. You click on skills. Here's our skills. There's our complete list. We have 10. We have, a lot of skills. Keep in mind, everybody who's watching this, Vintel is
Point being is this will get more and more populated as we go through these things. But for right now, these are the ones that are up and running.
Yep. And then what you guys want to do is you want to go to this plus here, and it'll give you a create with chat, a create with editor, or upload from your computer. So what happens is sometimes when you'll build, like I just built, you can come up here. Sometimes it'll actually save it as a HTML. It'll save to your downloads. You can then go and just click on that. It'll load it. It'll load it. What we've been doing is just loading it with the chat. So create a chat. You can also just hit that. You can hit anyways 3. So there's 3 ways to build create with chat. Is that what should we?
Would that be considered a project?
Yeah, but this automatically opens here. Use skill creator to help me create a skill. keep it conversational and start by asking what the skill should do. And then you got your files and forms and all that. That's where you go for that. We got GPT work. So that is where you go if you want to just build with chat. They've also build with editor, and they've also got obviously load from the computer. So that's kind of a little bit of a, and then if you go over here and you want to go to then create as editor. So now you can write out your own, just like what we showed. People do. And then they can go upload a computer, and then they just drag and drop a zip or a skill file or a skill MD upload, which will be in the, when you build that, it's there. Keep in mind also people plugins are where they moved a lot of agents, guys. This is where you guys go and you can hook up with Gmail. It's where you can go to hook up with Airtable. GitHub, we use GitHub. Notion is good. We don't use it, but it's available. I do like it. It's just I don't need it anymore. Canva, you really don't need Canva anymore because it'll make it'll make all your visuals and all that stuff. If anybody wants also is open art, like art class, openart.ai. It's pretty cool. You can actually use not only hit Grok, you can hit OpenAI's, you can hit also the Grok ones, Nano Banana, the Google ones. All of them are the same one. You can actually make a mini movie of it. It's pretty cool. Kevin, I just got that. I'll tell you about that later. It's pretty sweet. I can make holy shit, dude. You can actually make like AI movies. It's some of the stuff have you seen Tam's been posting.
In other words, somebody sat there with a recorder next to Steven Spielberg when he was snoring.
Shopify, HubSpot. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Gmail, we like Gmail because it's kind of the poor man's CRM. There's Zoom. We haven't really connected with Zoom yet. There's Slack. A lot of people like Slack.
Slack, which is another one.
Yep. We're getting into everything: security, McAfee, Bitdefender. Anybody really needs security, really good. I do recommend. I have one. I'll give everybody the. I can't remember what it is now. It's sitting next to me. I'll find it and put it on there. I got one from Action Computers. They give it to you. I've never seen it anywhere else, but I have it, and they give you like 3 years of it for like $50. It's a pretty good deal. You get all your finance stuff. There's also, you get an Expedia, all the QuickBooks into it, all that's there. Flight Network. You get an Apple Music. I don't know why here's DraftKings. Can you imagine DraftKings and Ticketmaster and FanDuel?
Well, I mean, the NFL needs to have this,
PitchBook, Stripe. No, I'm like the other day, I was like, why does anybody need to hook up Uber Eats to your AI? So let me go and let me get back to what we were working on. Back Office Thursday. Let me do this real quick, and then while we're on, I'll try to pull it up so I can show you open art. After I'll turn the video off, all that. I am processing.
So all of these answers that are on this screen here, basically copy and paste those. Those go down the bottom on your questions part. And then a lot of times you're going to find the answers or the previous product that was put in your previous session is going to be above you. And you can combine the two, and that'll get it kicked back up again and pick up where you left off.
We'll do that. I'll do the thumbnail. I'll turn it off, and then I'm going to try to pull up the open art and show you. I've played with it a little bit on the free version. I have to go in and get the paid version because obviously it's like they only give you like 40 credits to do like two images, and then you have to pay. You have different plans. Thumbnail under 1.9. Yeah, I've just done this. And
yeah, prompt gives you an answer, and a skill runs the process from that answer.
Yeah, dude, but it's like all of a sudden, like it's like having like 5 agents. Where we used to have all the agents. You still have the agents, but now skills.
This is a lot cleaner, a lot quicker, and actually a lot more thorough, and everybody can understand what's going on here. And what's been going on with this program since this has gotten started is it has not like it's gotten more complicated, but it's definitely taken on a personality that a lot of people don't understand or don't recognize. And this is one way to be able to keep it between the rails is to be able, to use the skills that are here, and then you can modify, or to Nate's part, you can develop your own skills to do specific things that you want to get done. Point being is it kind of keeps everything in a nice little box that works for you specifically. Meanwhile, it still learns from everybody's stuff and gets better and better as it goes. And I think this is probably going to be a lot easier for everybody to utilize is this system here. But you still have everything else there, because you are a developer here and you can do these different things. But from trying to get things started, it's not going to take near as much time to do this once you get to the first week, because by the time you get through your first week, you already have your skills incorporated into this. And the skills is where your automation comes in. Okay. So you can come in here at the end of every day and you might take you 20 minutes to look at what you got going on. Then you push a button and there it goes. You either approve it or you disapprove it. And basically it's that simple. And there's no reason why people can't get that done. And then having all your satellite, I call it satellite, but like attorneys and some of your people that you may want to use as consultants, it's real easy for them to be able to get in and out of this too, because a lot of their systems are set up for this kind of stuff. So I've got we have several different real estate agents and brokers that we're dealing with here, and every single one of them would just eat this thing alive.
So here I put, explain the difference between skills, agents, and prompts. It's using a skill for that.
Well, a skill is a specific task, but it can incorporate unencumbered stuff. As long as everything has some structure to it, it can be as big or as small as you want it to be. Everything else takes more time, and there's more effort put into building it or setting it up or getting it in motion or monitoring it. Well, the skill is a much more automated process.
Think of them as three different layers of control. A prompt is a single.
There you go.
A skill is a reusable operating procedure. An agent is a broader worker that can pursue a goal by deciding which steps, tools, or skills to use. So here, your prompt. One, instruction or request. Best use ad hoc work. Analyze this NED and tell me what is missing. That is the example. Skill. Package instructions, references, templates, and optional scripts for a repeatable workflow. Consistency and standardization. You got your offer generator, skip wizard, capital passport, deal match. Then you get an agent, a goal-driven system that can orchestrate multiple steps, tools, skills, and decide what to do next. End-to-end workflows. Take this lead from the stress signal through underwriting, offer, capital, and closing readiness. The simple distinction is a prompt is what you ask. A skill is how a specific job should always be done. Agent, for who manages the broader job and decides what to do next. For RCIC, I think about the architecture this way. Prompt, run the MRA on this property. That is just an instruction. Skill, the market reality assessment skill already knows what inputs to gather, which evidence layers to check, how to treat conflicting data, what confidence standard to use, and what output format RCIC expects. So the operator does not have to reinvent the process each time. Agent, an RCIC deal operator agent could receive, analyzes foreclosure opportunity and tell me what should happen next. The agent could then determine county foreclosure source navigator, MRA, this is all the lead intelligence router, distress, and that's what we built last night, distress and equity score, skip wizard, offer generator, the purchase agreement assistant, capital passport, transaction coordination. The agent's value is orchestration. That gives you another distinction. Skills are specialists, agents are managers. Skip wizard knows skip tracing. Offer generator knows offer structuring. Capital passport knows capital matching. The agent knows which specialist should work next. There is also an important reliability difference. Prompts are easy to vary accidentally. Skills preserve RCIC's procedures and guardrails. Agents can operate across a wider workflow, but because they make more decisions, they need clearly defined boundaries and human approval gates for what you're building.
Yeah. Now that thing that thing right up there at the very top where it says prompts are easy to vary accidentally.
Yeah.
I am the number one person that can speak volumes to that because I've had that happen to me more times than I know what to do. So if there is a way, and it sounds like the agent is the way to go, you'd be better off to use the skill and put an agent to work. And not to mention the fact that you're going to have multiple different things going. The agent can keep track of all that. You're down to 10 or 15 minutes a day checking in on the agent. And the agent's going to tell you what it thinks it should do because it's going to want to do everything as efficiently as possible. So if it can find shortcuts or any better way to do it, it's probably going to tell you that. And from a simple standpoint, this is the way to go if you can actually, I mean, everybody should be able to, this is where everybody needs to be going. And if you have any questions or any concerns, you can get a hold of me. If you can't get a hold of Nate, and we'll come up with some way of making it work.
Yeah, I'm trying to see right now. Let's see if I can. Real quick, I want to see if I can get to this.
The other thing about the agents is, as this thing changes, the agents can be able to make the adjustments, and you don't have to worry about that so much. Which some of us are running into those situations right now and don't know exactly what to do about it. So this kind of covers that as well.
Yeah, so give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually bring this up and show everybody, just not just you, because I think this is really something cool that I'm just getting into. That will help me, and we'll be able to help people. So let me do a stop share, and then I'll reshare it real quick. This is what's called openart.ai, and I do have an account here, but I haven't really. I got into it a little bit on another system that I'm doing with Ventel. So it's got CDANS 2.5. You get unlimited. Here's the thing: everybody sees all these different things out there. So you guys get into this whole. This has all of them in there that you can go out there and create. Like I tried to create this one, which is it doesn't let me actually do it because I used all my free. There's not enough free credits. They give you enough free credits to try it, but when you guys go into here, you can actually make video. This is a text to video. So you can go out there and you can make frame to video, text to video, smart shot. You can do edit videos. You can replace backgrounds. You can relight the video, lip sync. You can put motion sync.
If you're picking up a multifamily property and you have it up for marketing, you could put together several different videos of the different features of each of these units that you have there. And that can go with the package to the new owner that you're going to be selling to.
Well, here's the thing, guys. Wow. Everybody watching this, you guys can do a brand kit on this. And you can add your logo, all your color palette, what colors you like, the typography you like, all the brand assets, all the style references and the brand rules. You can create that. You can go there and build multiple brands. It's pretty cool. You got the templates. It's got media. You can build characters and worlds. I mean, if you just want to go out there and you want to make something cool that gets you attraction or something, before don't go in there and make like fake stuff like on properties and stuff unless you're just like, hey, this is like wholesale, it's kind of cool. But if you're showing real properties and deals and kind of use the brand kit, this is kind of cool because you can make a lot of these videos and stuff now. And what it is so just to let you guys know on the pricing real quick, let me pull it up. So they got different plans, obviously. They got individual business plans. The starter, they got the plus, the pro, and then they got like teams and stuff. So it gives you like a $13 a month. You can make up to 4,000 images. I don't know who needs 4,000 images a month. Up to 50 videos, excluding director. Director is a program that you get at the pro level, the plus level, and it's basically 12,000 credits, and you can do up to 150 videos, and then you get access to director. So director charges more. Here's access to director. It charges because some of these they charge you more. Like they have upscale. So if you want to make it like a real professional photo, it's awesome. You can go there and tell it, and it give it direction. It'll make all these. So I mean, like literally, you're getting $44 a month. You can make 30,000 images a month, or 24,000, up to videos. You can use director. You can have 80 characters, 34 one-click stories, 80 personalized models. All the parallel things. You get all the benefits. one, all the story creation and all that. So this is a cool system that I'm going to be using more and more for. The other beauty of it gets into several models. So like when you get into different, there's director and stuff, but you can get into different models. So you can go in and you can learn about like a short film. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. Multiple models, like you can get Nano Banana, which is Google. You get into Grok. They got about 12 different ones. So instead of signing up for any of the services where you might have one different ones, you can access all of them, like literally all even open AIs. So it's kind of cool. So you guys, I can't really show too much tonight, but expect to start seeing probably maybe at the end of the month, maybe right after Labor Day, start seeing once we get the skills built. I'm going to be putting a lot of these together to help you guys get started, where you guys can go out there and this is all your social media content. Really become an influencer, because there's brand films. You can make a film for your investing, anything like that. Really go out there, really kind of make it stand out, get attention, and then switch them over to the real stuff. Like I said, don't go and make like anything that's fake, that's business wise, but make it some cool stuff. Go out there and or make some videos. You can actually go in and put the photos in there and actually help make if you get a photo that maybe it's like today it's like raining and you want to show it not raining or not snow or something, you might be able to do that. I don't know, I'm not going to guarantee that, but you can go in there and play with it. It'll do a lot of stuff. It'll clean a lot of stuff up. There's actually some different editing things in there that are pretty advanced that you can do, like upscale and watermark removal and stuff like that. It's in there. I'm not telling anybody to do anything you shouldn't do, because it's actually in there. You can go into all the tools. Here's all the tools. You got video, image, audio. You can create sound effects. You can create voiceovers. You can create music. I mean, it's everything. You can replace backgrounds. You can image upscale, camera angle control, VFX for video effects. And you get an motion sync, all the lip sync. You can put stuff in there, editing it, the images and the video. So everybody will start seeing.
Yeah, it's your own personal audio video studio and editing center.
Yep. So everybody will start seeing that probably first part of September from me, because once I transition, we got all the skills set up. Really at that point, there's really nothing really we're going to develop after that. You'll have all the skills, you'll be using them. At that point, I think everybody will be turned on. It will just be, the important thing is get everybody onboarded, new people onboarding, improve the process of onboarding, and get everybody, everybody should be firing up.
On the same page.
The first time you've seen me post, guys, this is the Mac Daddy of real estate investing resources. Nobody will ever create or duplicate anything we do. They just can't do it. It's not possible. So, all right, cool. Everybody else, see, I'm going to process the video. Reach out to me if you want to get on board. Thanks for watching.
Take care.